Hey friends, welcome to my blog. Blog. Um, Please excuse any noise you may hear in the background. I tried to choose the quietest place in my home. But super quick, I guess. The theorist that I chose that I felt resonated the most with me, thus far anyway, is Vygotsky, and I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Vygotsky was a Russian teacher and psychologist. And his theory, he had a few things that resonated with me that we learn through our social interactions and communications with others. Just thinking in terms, of course, of our little people that we teach. He examined how our social environments influence the learning process. And I definitely agree with that because just thinking about the students that come into your classroom, you have some that are like super social. You have some that are just not, right? You have some that are just used to being at home with mom and dad or at home with whomever. And, they're just maybe just like to themselves. They're not necessarily like engaging with other children their age or even with the adults in the home. I know that, working in an urban setting, I see that a lot. I have parents who come in and they're picking up and they're on their phone, they're dropping off their kids and they're on their phone and they're having very little interactions with their children. So their social environments definitely influence the learning process. It suggested that learning takes place through interactions students have with their peers, their teachers, and other experts. And I absolutely agree with that because if you think about that child that comes in and maybe they're low socially or they're low academically, the things that they begin to just pick up on and the way they begin to just thrive, just being in that environment, just being with other children, just being with other children who may be a little further advanced than them, and just really soaking in that knowledge from their teachers and other adults that they now begin to come in contact with. It just helps them thrive. So not just us pouring academic knowledge into them, but that social piece definitely helps students grow tremendously. He also talked about prior concepts and new concepts being interwoven, and just thinking about read alouds, right? Or when we're doing small groups and we're teaching kids new concepts, we're tapping into their prior knowledge before we are giving them something new. We want to see what they know or how much they know on a subject before we give them something new. And, we want them to be able to relate it to their lives, like real world experiences, not just self the text. I'm sorry, not just like what they got from the text, but we want them to have some like self the text and some like real world connections with things that we are giving them. Definitely agree there. Um, Something that I was not like completely sold on, and I guess you guys can just, chime in if you agree, if you don't agree, or leave a comment about was that language plays a central role in the mental development. Maybe I just need to research that a little bit more, but I do feel that no language separates our early learners from their peers who have like rich vocabulary. So you have some kids coming in and maybe they're really not talking as much as they should, or they just don't have like such a grand vocabulary that they should have at a certain age. I feel like that draws a gap in between the kids academically and sometimes socially too. But I don't necessarily agree that it plays a central role in the mental development. So definitely feel free to chime in and give me something there. Um, Scaffolding, right? That's something we use all the time. But um, so he discovered scaffolding, discovering the levels of each child's cognitive and social development, and builds or constructs their learning experiences from that point. So I guess like for me, I was looked at scaffolding in a different way. So I never looked at it as like, for a social development tool. I always look at it, from an educator standpoint, where we're always thinking of scaffolds in terms of what we are teaching, um, going downward to accommodate those students, going upward to accommodate your high students, and just being sure to meet the kids where they are. We use scaffolds like with transitions, we use scaffolds in our small groups, in our questioning with the kids. But just thinking of how we can use that socially, to help develop their social development skills, I never um, looked at it that way. So that was a pretty good thing to learn about. But this is the theorist that resonated with me because I feel like I do a lot of these things in my classroom. A lot of the other ones, of course, were great. Some things I agree with, some things not. But this is the one that stood out for me. So please feel free to comment, chime in, leave me something. All right. Thanks.